Bloomington, Indiana. The fireworks cracked and the towel-waving sellout crowd at Memorial Stadium roared to salute an Indiana team that won its 10th game for the first time in school history. Curt Cignetti, the coach who orchestrated the most impressive first season in recent college football history, embraced his wife and granddaughter, and then his two daughters, as fans chanted "Sig, Sig." Indiana, a bottom-rung program that hasn't even shared a Big Ten title since 1967 and never made the college football playoff, improved to 10-0 with a 2015 win against defending national champion Michigan, which came in as an underdog to the Hoosiers for the first time since 1968. But there was no field storm Saturday, and Cignetti and many others came away feeling more relieved than triumphant. An Indiana team that had won each of its first 9 games by 14 or more points and entered Saturday leading the nation in scoring margin, 419-123, received its first true scare, as its 17-3 halftime deficit dwindled to 2 points and then 5 in the closing minutes. But Indiana's defense carried the day, preventing Michigan from gaining a single first down on the game's decisive possession. The Hoosiers, who debuted at number 8 in the initial college football playoff ranking, dragged down by a schedule that has not included a top 25 opponent, will take a perfect record to number 3 Ohio State on November 23. Not many style points there, not many people banging the drum, saying Indiana ought to be rated higher. And all that good stuff, but the Indiana Hoosiers are 10-0. Cignetti said. He later added, "I'm glad we won. I don't like the way we played." Indiana appeared headed for its standard lopsided win, outgaining Michigan 228-94 in the first half and getting 2 touchdown passes from standout quarterback Curtis Rourke. But the Hoosiers then endured their worst offensive quarter of the season, which included a Rourke interception near the goal line that led to a Michigan field goal, and only 7 net yards on 7 plays. Michigan chipped away at the lead and had a chance to tie the score with 9:35 left before Davis Warren's pass on a 2-point conversion attempt went incomplete. An Indiana offense that entered Saturday ranked second nationally in scoring, 46.6 points per game, continued to stall, but Keshawn Williams, returning punts because primary returner Miles Price was injured, had a 22-yard run back to set up a field goal. "I wasn't too worried or too curious," said Williams, who led Indiana in receptions, 6, and receiving yards, 70. "When you perform how we've performed all year, there's never any doubt. We're never on the sideline, like, damn, this might be it. We know when we get out there we do our thing, we're going to make some stuff happen." A Hoosiers defense that has significantly improved under Cignetti rose up yet again, forcing 3 incomplete passes and then stopping Michigan's Peyton O'Leary 1 yard shy of the marker on 4th and 10. Indiana held Michigan to 69 rushing yards on 34 carries and just 1 touchdown, which came after Michigan had a short field. 2 Indiana runs sealed the win, aided by Michigan's inexplicable decision not to call timeout immediately after a Tyson Lawton rush. A lot of people will make an argument for Indiana. Where should they be in the rankings? Should they be above this team? Linebacker Aiden Fisher said. "We'll leave that to them. That's not something we really care about. What we care about at the end of the day is making sure we're walking off this field with the fans happy." Rourke completed only 3 of 10 passes for 16 yards and the interception in the second half, well below his production. He said the surgically repaired thumb on his throwing hand did not hinder him and continued to improve, but credited Michigan's defense, saying Indiana had to be near perfect to build its first half lead. "These are games that really test you as a team. See if you can hang on, you can win those tie games," Rourke said. "We knew eventually that we would come to a game where it would be close. We'd have to see what we're made of, so I'm really proud of how we handled it. Our defense stepped up in big times. It's another big moment we've got for the season." Cignetti noted how Saturday marked the first game this season where Indiana didn't win with style points, adding, "Our numbers are through the roof." Even brief down periods, like a 10-0 deficit last week at Michigan State, were answered with huge surges. The narrow win against a Michigan team that came in with 4 losses, 3 in its previous 4 games, could cost Indiana in the next CFP rankings. But all of Indiana's goals, unthinkable outside the program when the season kicked off, are all still on the table. Championship teams find a way to win football games, Cignetti said. I can't say enough about these guys. I don't throw many bouquets out there, but these guys have accomplished quite a bit. Tennessee anticipates having top quarterback Nico Iamaleava ready for next week's game at Georgia after the redshirt freshman sat out the second half of Saturday's win against Mississippi State because of an undisclosed injury. Iamaleava left Saturday's game in the second quarter, shortly after landing hard on his right side after a hit from Mississippi State's Isaac Smith. The quarterback returned briefly on Tennessee's final drive of the first half before sitting out the second half. Coach Josh Heupel said Iamaleava sat as a precautionary measure. We anticipate having him ready for next week, Heupel said. Feel like we'll be ready to roll. At Georgia, Iamaleava completed 8 of 13 passes for 174 yards and 2 touchdowns, and added 22 rushing yards against Mississippi State, before leaving the game, as number 7 Tennessee stormed out to a 27 halftime lead. Gaston Moore replaced Iamaleava and had 38 passing yards in Tennessee's 33-14 win.